don't know something. Fear comes because of lack of knowledge. All right? Fear comes because of lack of awareness. Don't fear none of the stuff these people going to roll out. And you know they got plenty programs to roll out. Just continue to take care of yourself, look after yourself, and don't none of the programming. Because it's going to be a lot of programming coming around or leading up to election year because they need you. If they didn't need your electricity, they wouldn't tell you they need it. They need it. They need your energy. They need your attention. They need your, and by who are they? I'm talking about the government, the governments, the governors, the mayors, people who get their money from you. They currency from you. All right. All of that. The Illuminati, as you might call them, you power. Actually, you can form your own world. And that's what you're leading to. Okay. But it's going to be above it. I think it was the Hunger. I said, as soon as I see the songbird and the snake, I said, I get it because they had a movie called Songbird and the songbird was dealing with COVID, 2024, which was COVID 23 in the movie. Same thing with the COVID-19. They say COVID, 19 as in to say 2019, the novel coronavirus, but then it started to be promoted and pushed in the year 2020. Okay, so then you got to know that they're going to start prepping you at the end of this year the same way, all right, for 23, and then 2024 is when they're going to attempt to, all right, roll out a major program, and the only thing that's going to decide that or to be the determining factor whether or not they're successful is you. That's why I told you what. Remember I said it, I'm going to say it again. If by November 2024, the people are not they're going to elect themselves, there's a problem. You'll know what I mean the closer we get there. But if people are not saying we're going to vote for our own precedents, all right, we're going to elect ourselves as the precedents or the president, meaning the way our conscience is going to decide that reality at that point will say, we don't want this dark world. You feel what I'm saying? And they'll elect themselves, meaning they'll electrify themselves and they'll become the chosen. All right, or the Shozan or the shamans, and they'll heal the world. Like Michael say, heal the world, make it a better place. You know what I'm saying? For you and for me and the entire human race. You know what I'm saying? He was teaching you. You go listen to the Earth song and you'll hear what he's saying. Don't forget. He said, what about sunrise? I just want to roll that out there to say, yeah, I was able to pick up on it and see it because they fooling. And remember, they tried to, they'll be able to fool the very elect. And I'm telling you, elect people who are coming to grips with what this reality is about and what your role in this realm can be. I'm not going to just say supposed to be. It can be. You have the opportunity to do something. Oh, yeah, it's going to make more sense to y'all that they want to fool you. They want to fool you. Remember, everything you see on the news is a part of the game. All right. Remember, I'm telling you this. Everything that you see on the news is a part of the game. And the only thing that you're going to have to work harder to figure out now is because it's no longer just the television that has the news. Now the Shade Room has the news. Spiritual World has the news. Say Cheese TV has the news. Whatever. Big major platforms, current events is the news. So if everybody's on these apps, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and they speaking about current events, that means that the people are the ones who are, you know what I'm saying, propagating and putting out those images and those messages for the elite at that point. You have to be cautious of that. That's why I tell you, if motherfuckers can't do shit but talk about current events, and they're part of the distraction because the current events were always the distractions. That's how they maintain the leverage that they have, where you say, all I got to do is throw out this thing over here, this ding over there, this dong over there, and all of a sudden people are moving in this direction or moving in that direction. I say go left, they coming over here, and I do something over to the right. I have this sleight of hand motion over here, they look over here, I'm over here kicking my foot, and they don't even see that I rolled the ball over there. If they can do that, then they maintain leverage. So remember, if you really woke, it's less about just speaking about current events. It's more about telling people what's going to come before it gets here. All right. And also when it gets here, explaining why it's here to be able to show people how they can see things before we get there and be able to prepare for their future. All right. And have a say so in it, not just to say, oh, this is happening now. This is doomsday. And watch when this happens. It's going to be doomsday again. And watch when this happens. It's going to be doomsday again. All right. Because as we approach the end of the fucking hamburger shit, what became of the hamburger shit? You know what I'm saying? Everybody was focused on it. Woke people out of there. Oh, the hamburgers. It's like, it's fucking hamburgers. But, you know, it becomes a whole story of somebody wants to be the first conspiracy theorist, leader, person, woke nigga to come out and talk about it. And it's all distraction. Nobody dealing with what's really going on. So what's really going on is still what I've been telling you this whole year was going to be about: getting off that fence, all right, rising up that same fence that I told you was the crossroad. Well, now it's the year of offense. I told you that. I said it was a 7-year. I told you that because the whole body has to start turning toward the light. I told you that, all right. And there's another fast coming up on the 25th also, which just so happens to be my grandmother's birthday. Okay, but there's a lot of things moving, y'all, in motion. This year is not over. Okay, and I'll just tell you, don't fear anything and don't believe what you see on that news. And they're going to make it seem real believable. Don't believe it. And what I can tell you to do is continue to do what you do with everything I'm telling you. Research everything. Don't take somebody's word for some shit. Like when they told you Bill Gates did this, that, and the third and was saying this, that, and the third, nobody went and read up on it and looked into what he actually said, got the transcript, get his words, see if he said that. He didn't even say some of the shit they was trying to say. All right, but they wanted to just have that be said so that they can justify the destruction of the Georgia Guidestones. You know what I'm saying? So then when the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed, people like Isis Wisdom was out here talking about it was the fucking ancestors. It had nothing to do with no fucking spirits. Had everything to do with the fact that the age of reason is what they don't want here. They don't want an age of reason here. They don't want people to start really paying attention to the fact that things are out of order or out of balance. All right. When people say, even when I spoke and said, I agree with Thanos, you had certain people saying it became an algorithm in the comments. It says, okay, Bill Gates, which they don't know what they're talking about, because even to say Bill Gates, you think that means 500 million people because you thought that you read up on, all right, the Georgia Guidestones, which you didn't. You only saw a video. So people watch a video that somebody else is speaking on. That makes them think that they scholars in it as well, or something that they know about as well. No, you only remember to regurgitate what somebody spoke on in a video. But you didn't read the Georgia Guidestones, or you would have realized it said nothing about removing anybody. It was speaking about maintenance. Okay, it was about maintaining 500 million people on the planet Earth. Okay, after something had taken place, so maintaining the order, the nature, coming in with a unified language and all of that. That was being spoken about on the Georgia Guidestones. So if Isis Wisdom, who's supposed to be some teacher, was actually in tune, why she couldn't read 10 principles? There were 10 principles. No, she didn't read shit. She watched one TikTok video, or she saw one person over here do. This is what a lot of people do. They watch each other. They come out, act like they're the first person that said it. They ain't doing shit but just saying the same shit some Caucasoid said all across the side of the world. You don't know that they said it first, so you running with it, not even realizing that a lot of these conspiracies that you're talking about came from people like David Icke and all this. These niggas was there before you, talking about some of the same shit, and they weren't melanin dominant or none of that, but you trying to act like these conspiracy theories have anything to do with melanin dominant people rising up. Has nothing to do with it. You've been fooled just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? When you fool, you listen to it phonetically, you get ate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, if you don't want to be no meal, stop listening to these people and do your own research on events. All right. You become the person. I'm not saying you don't have to listen to it. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you, you can be the person who goes in and finds something out and figures it out and run it past me or run it past somebody else, and say, run it past each other or run it past your damn self and say, this is what's going on with that. And half of the time, if you just take 3 seconds to research some shit, you'll find out way more than a motherfucker that took 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying, on a fucking YouTube Zoom call explaining it. 3 seconds. Just go look into some shit and be like, wait a minute. They done built the whole fucking conspiracy on some shit that say this right here. It don't even say that. So then why the hell did Isis Wisdom say that there was some spiritual galactic ancestors that came through and blew up them stones? Because she thought that them stones had something to do with the Illuminati, all right, and something called population control. Don't y'all, listen, these words that I'm saying, don't they sound familiar? You want to know why they sound familiar? Because it's the common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? People think they saying something so beyond it. Ooh, population control, all that genocide shit. It's the same fucking conspiracies from 100 years ago. It's the same shit. And then you realize, well, then that means that population control worked because they're controlling the population. You think population control means genocide? It doesn't. Population control means they control the population. You more concerned about whether or not the government can take some people out. How about the fact that they dealing with earth crust displacement right now? And that if you don't have a stable footing, then civilizations will be destroyed by the planet herself. You talking about genocide from the government. You need to deal with the fact that oxygen levels is looking shaky. The magnetosphere is looking shaky. Things that hold your planet and your world together to be what you say is your world that you can live in. All right. There's a depopulation plan happening from the planet herself. There's a depopulation plan happening from the sun itself. Not no elites. As a matter of fact, they're trying to reverse it. No, they need population control. Why the fuck would they get rid of everybody when they need everybody? They need people. They need people to fuel their pyramid. They need people to fuel their whole government. They don't have nobody at the bottom who gonna drive the boat. You feel what I'm saying? If they don't have nobody at the bottom, who gonna be the ones who build their buildings? Who gonna be the ones who feed their children and work for their children? Nah, they need they need sheep. That ain't the point. They want to delete all. What they're really going to do is try to integrate people into a whole different type of consciousness through AI, all right, which becomes AC. I told you about. They'll start calling it ACs. Artificial consciousness is on the way, all right, and then eventually they're going to drop the artificial part. I told y'all that. After they drop the artificial part, then what happens? What they're basically going to do at that point is just say ICs or integrated consciousness, where you human beings and your children, this is more specifically for your children and your children's children, will be integrated with robots or what you call artificial conscious beings. And literally, you think integration just happens from the injection of some type of neural link into your skull or some DARPA project. No, that is a part of it. But the real integration will happen where 50 years from now, you won't know whether or not you're reproducing with somebody who was genetically modified, all right, or an AI or a product of an AI. I don't know that. You will be literally look human, they feel human, they got the flesh, cells, all of that is there. The organs is there, the blood is there, they breathe in, they breathe out, they're able to produce seminal fluids, they got ovaries and all kind of stuff, and you don't know that that's an AI or that's what? A whole group of beings. So they're coming out with a movie called Creator, where you're able to see. Are you with me? So my point, it should be clear for people, but people don't really want to see it. They got plans. Your thing is, do you have plans? All right. So if we have niggas who supposed to be woke, what's the plan? If you elite, what's the plans? Because if your plan is to only speak about what the elite are doing, you got an issue. You know what I'm saying? You have to write what they want you. You know what I'm saying? Talk about some shit that they already roll out anyway. You know what I'm saying? No, instead of dealing with the distractions, look at the stuff that they don't want you to talk about. If they tell you don't look over here, look over there. Video about a Project Blue Beam. You don't fucking understand what that means. You don't even get where they got the blue beam from. Ancient technology, a cyborg technology that actually the ancient Egyptians possessed, okay, that helped them to travel the stars. That's why they talk about the Blu-ray sites. You know what I'm saying? Own it now on Blu-ray. The disc. UFOs ain't real. It's just back engineered, or what most of the common word is reverse engineered, but it's back engineered technology that the military is using. I say, how they reverse it? They reverse it from what? Reverse engineered from what? That's where they get quiet just like that. Exactly, because in order for you to reverse engineer some shit or back engineer some shit, technology, for you able to overstand the mechanics to use it, there's no God outside of ourselves. It's only us, and you're wrong as hell. Never the shit has something to do with what's going on beyond your planet. Flybys is happening. You just had a green comment. All this stuff nobody's talking about. Everybody being quiet about that. But the little tell you nothing about it until the 24-hour period before it comes. You're going to die from that. It don't matter about you being woke. It don't matter about you being vegan. None of that shit. If you have an extraterrestrial threat on your planet, all right, you have an extraterrestrial threat on your planet. Ain't going to be like, oh, we see some niggas down there that wear dashikis. They ain't oh, niggas down there with Christians. Oh, we see the work. They don't give a fuck about none of that dogma or none of that. If you're dealing with an extraterrestrial but where are they telling you? Let me tell you, I'm going to give you a hint. They're not telling you on apps. They're not telling you on TV with entertainment programs. Okay? They sneak it in a way and putting it off into like little documentations of what they're looking for and what they're watching for. And you have to go look. But that's why they have Freedom of Information Act. Okay? And under that Freedom of Information Act, you can request that your government come out and put information. You feel what I'm saying? So just remember, when these games get to rolling out, don't fall for them. And that puts you in a better seat. All right? Now, I'm not saying that you won't get sniffles. This is a cold season. This happens every year, believe it or not. I released that, what you call it, the government shutdown cipher. It was 2018 or 2019, one of them. But I released the government shutdown cipher on the government shutdown and what it was going to all be about because we was approaching the 2019 year, which was the 400 year on their lease and all this other stuff. If you remember that, okay, then I'm telling you now,